The Joe Rogan Experience.
It's not just journalists, it's the journalists that also consider themselves activists, like they're shaping culture and society with their writing and musings, and that they're trying to push a narrative, and that, you know, ultra progressive woke narrative. And they won't stop with it.
They won't.
And these that I sent you that thing, Jamie, about the Will Smith thing. That's in the Independent. I sent it to you a text message.
You showed it before the pod, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore sent this to me. It's like, what the fuck are you even saying here? It says, white outrage about Will Smith's slap is rooted in anti-blackness. It's inequality in plain sight. What?
And it's in The Guardian. It's kind of depressing.
They just get sucked into wokeness, man.
It's just kind of like...
Performative pearl clutching. Hey, no. That was violence. If you think violence is cool, you need to tell me where that line ends. Is it just slapping? Can I kick someone in the face if I don't like what they say? Like, where does that end?
You just knew that this incident that was between two guys, also they happened to both be African-American, at some point there would be articles blaming white supremacy. You're like, dude, I'm almost impressed by the leap in logic where you're going like, dude,
it's
hats
impressive.
off. Yeah,
It
it's
is
impressive.
And
That you're even going for it.
Well, it took a solid 48 hours for someone to concoct that. Like, they had to sit there. You ever see that fucking, there's a meme of a woman, and there's all these, like, calculations in the background. She's trying to, like, ponder something that doesn't make sense. You seen those? That's them sitting there, like, trying to figure out how to put this and make it white supremacy. It's inequality in plain sight. What the fuck are you saying?
The good thing about this is that it's getting so ridiculous now that I think a lot of people who are just like casuals are starting to go like, all right, we're starting to see a lot of people's point that this is sort of
it's out of control.
It's out of control.
Wouldn't you love if we had that guy on the podcast with us? Please map this out for us.
Yeah.
Just you and me and that guy. Like, I want to see your astounding logic.
Yeah, it'd be like, all right. Now you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit.
Pearl clutching.
Here's how it is.
Pearl clutching.
It happened in America.
Yeah.
And there's racism in the history of America.
It's rooted in racism.
Yeah.
America was founded on racism.
Yeah.
So if it happened in America and it's on television, which is racist.
Racist, yeah.
Yeah, and the Academy Awards, which is Academy Oh So White.
Yes.
Right? Oscars Oh So White?
Yeah. Everything. I always find the people who are lying always say the most irrelevant things, and that's how you know they're lying. It's just a bunch of irrelevant information around what's germane to what happened. You're like, that's my bullshit detector. I'm going like, you're speaking a lot about a lot of tangential, irrelevant shit. You're full of shit.
Well, it's like one of those charts where it's like you're trying to get to the center. The center is white racism. And you start off with here, black man slaps other black man over a joke about a woman. Misogyny is rooted in white supremacy. Okay, let's go to that. Outrage is on television, which is racist. And it's all racism.
Yeah. Somehow it finds its way back to old reliable.
Yeah, you can't let people just go around slapping people. And that is whether you think it's violence or not. It's violence.
It's violence.
It's violence.
It was violence that happened on TV.
Yeah.
It was violent. I think comedians should stop hosting the Oscars so they just tank, because it's the only redeemable quality about that circle jerk.
Yeah.
The only reason why anyone tunes in is to hear Ricky Gervais or whatever just bring it down to earth and have some fun with it, because otherwise we're just sitting there watching the most boring fake award show where studios pay for those awards. Did they really win? It's a matter of taste. They don't even have a comedy category. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's basically giving a green light to the pimp slap. To like what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, that is not a crime to do to your wife in Russia.
Yeah. Chris Rock should have fucking hit him back.
He should have jumped on his back as soon as he turned his back like that.
That just gets filtered through an MMA brain.
100%.
You don't take us back.
Listen, man, here's the reality. You don't slap a man in the face and then turn your back and walk away unless you should have never slapped that man in the first place. Because you're only slapping a guy who you know can't slap you back.
That's why he slapped him, yeah.
That's the only reason why he slapped him and then turned his back and walked away. Look, if he slapped him and then stood his ground and waited for a return and was ready to go to war, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when you slap a man, you turn around and go back to your seat. that is a sure sign you should not have slapped that man.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I just had this image of a movie like The Karate Kid where Chris Rock just shows up in Austin. He's like, hey, Joe, you gotta trade me.
I was thinking to my friends last night, I was like, imagine if Chris Rock had just a year of solid jiu-jitsu training under his belt. And as soon
as he took his back?
As soon as Will Smith turns his back, he just leaps and takes his back and just squeezes Will out before the security guards can get to him. Will Smith goes out.
Wipes that smirk off Will Smith's face.
Listen, apparently they worked it out. Like, I'd read that they talked, and Will Smith made a statement, and Chris Rock even apologized. And apparently they talked backstage and worked it out, which is the best. I don't think Will Smith should go to jail. I don't think any of that stuff should happen. I don't think they should take away his Academy Award. I think he knows it was a foolish act. Everybody else knows. And I think it's one of those learning experiences for the world. It's like a teachable moment, right? Like the whole world can see that we put stars and celebrities up on pedestals, but they're just human beings. And sometimes human beings get pushed to the point where they do something irrational.
Right.
And that's what he did. He just did something totally irrational that he's completely embarrassed by.
Right.
Good.